Welcome into Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao, Maurice Patton here on this Top 5 Tuesday, a beautiful day outside. I mean, weather-wise, specifically after last week, doesn't get much better than this.
Yeah, I umpired last night, and as I was coming off the field, somebody was saying, boy, you had a great night tonight, didn't you? I said, yeah, way better than Saturday. Saturday cooked.
Yeah.
Friday night cooked. I mean, it was bad. Special shout out, in fact, to Spring Hill High School for providing the sweat towels for at least one member of the media at that Mount Pleasant game. It was much needed and greatly appreciated. But yeah, it's nice to be appreciated.
It is. Go where you're celebrated, not tolerated.
Not tolerated. Yep.
And we've got a great show lined up for you. We're going to talk a little WNBA action with M.A. VOEPEL. He'll join us in the next segment. After last night, the New York Liberty, even the regular season series 2-2 with the Las Vegas Aces, but won the series if you count the Commissioner's Cup championship. They would.
I'm pretty sure they count the Commissioner's
I'm sure they will.
Championship.
Now, it does, bear importance that one, Las Vegas is still a game and a half up for the top seed, which would give them home court advantage if the two were to make it to the finals. And two, Candace Parker hasn't played in a month and hasn't played in 3 of the 5 meetings. So there's that. I'm just saying.
Playing devil's advocate just a second, I'm pretty sure the Liberty is saying, hey, we just played who showed up.
Oh, I don't disagree. I'm just saying that in the event Candace Parker shows up,
it might be different.
Things could be a little different than what we've seen in the regular season to this point. That's all I'm saying.
That's fair.
So, but MA is going to join us, and looking forward to talking with him about that. We've also got back in the saddle is Chip Walters, the voice of the Blue Raiders. He's left Italy. Now he's headed to Tuscaloosa. and the food, depending on where you go.
I feel like he's going to have some stories to tell, some food related, some not.
I'm looking forward to getting Chip back in as he gets ready to call his first game of the year down at BDS, Bryant-Denny Stadium. And with the depth chartless Alabama Crimson Tide.
How about
just no depth chart? I don't even know how. Depth chart, Smith chart.
What? I saw that yesterday, and of course, Nick Saban had an explanation for it.
Something about distractions.
And apologized.
Listen, this is not unusual for them to have a quarterback question this early in the year. Typically, he just puts "or" in between all of them, and they just go on with their business. But maybe he's got more question marks at other places and was just like, it's not even worth putting out a depth chart if we're just going to put "or" in everywhere, which I guess could make sense.
It could make sense, but I think Nick Saban sometimes creates distractions where there are none as well. Because I think not putting out a depth chart probably creates more of a distraction than putting one out does. Now, I'm not a college football coach. Next game I win will be my first. But I just think that sometimes you create the narrative.
Maybe, yeah. I don't disagree.
Unnecessarily so.
I completely agree with you. I think it's a little funny, but it's Nick Saban, and we'll get a chance to talk to Chip about that trip down there. It'll
be interesting to know what not having a depth chart means to Chip in terms of his prep.
I mean, I think that's important to note. I wanted to see if I could. There was a quote, and I'll get it up. Mm-hmm. But Rick Stockstill had a heck of a quote this morning on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, and so we'll bring that up as well. But it's going to be a fantastic show again. Chip's back, and it's Top 5 Tuesday with all of the great sports documentaries that have come out recently. Swamp Kings, Johnny Football, BS High. Watch BS High, by the way. If you've not had a chance to do that, you need to. It's phenomenal.
I will.
Roy Johnson is a
piece of work.
Well, he's the most honest liar he knows. He said, I'll tell you I lied. I don't care. This man printed out checks at Kinko's. Told the lady they're hot, and she still paid the hotel bill with them. Oh, it's wild. Anyway, we're going to count down or draft our top 5 sports documentaries. All of that and much, much more coming your way here on Main Street Sports Today. Let's get into yesterday's results and today's schedule, though, on the rundown.
This is the rundown.
Sunday, Battleground Academy defeated Columbia Academy 3-0. Columbia Central defeated Fairview 3-0. It was Friendship Christian 3, Donaldson Christian 0. Loretto with a 3-1 win over Lincoln County. Middle Tennessee Christian defeated Webb School 3-0. Providence Christian likewise against Franklin Road Academy. And Hampshire with a 3-0 win over Santa Fe. In girls soccer on Monday, Christ Presbyterian Academy blanked Beach 4-0. Gallatin with a 2-0 win over White House Heritage, and Lincoln County defeated Columbia Central 4-2.
Major League Baseball action, the Braves are 14-4 winners over the Rockies.
Scoring 4 runs in the 7th and 5 in the 9th.
Hey, whatever it takes to get you there, that's all that really matters. Also, the Astros score 1 fewer run, give 1 more up, but still win 13-5 over Boston and the Red Sox. The Padres 4-1 winners against the Cardinals. Brewers down the Cubs 6-2. The Giants are 4-1 winners against the Reds. And in WNBA action, it was the New York Liberty 94, the Las Vegas Aces 85.
In volleyball action today, Zion Christian plays at Franklin Christian. That begins at 4:30. At 5 o'clock, Gallatin's at Portland. Also, Stewart's Creek hosts Warren County. 5:30, Columbia Academy goes to University School of Nashville. Also, Good Pasture is at Friendship Christian. James Lawson hosting John Overton. Providence Christian goes to Middle Tennessee Christian. Again, those are all 5:30 starts. At 6, Santa Fe is at Camden. Hope they have left. Oakland is at Cookeville at 6. Laverne is at Cookeville at 6. One of those is not right. Culleoka.
But Cookeville's playing at 6.
Cookeville's playing at 6.
Well, it may be a tri-match, though. You never know. Hey, it could be a try match, and they're just all there. I don't know.
Could be. I guess that's feasible. Culleoka is at Eagleville at 6. Coffee County hosting Columbia Central at 6:30. Also at 6, Lewis County is at Hampshire. Collinwood is at Mount Pleasant. Riverdale hosts Siegel. Rockvale hosts Blackman. White County comes to Smyrna. And Cheatham County is at Stewart County at 6:30. Franklin County is at Spring Hill. And sometime today, Brooks, Alabama plays at Loretta.
You know, volleyball try matches used to be a lot more of a thing than they are now. I haven't seen one in a while.
I've not either. I don't know why.
Wonder what happened to that.
I mean,
those were the good old days for the officials anyway.
Exactly. And with the official shortage that we've seen in so many other sports, you would think you'd see more of that. Yeah.
Well, volleyball is, as far as officiating
They're
goes.
not having issues.
Yeah. Girls soccer action this afternoon. Franklin Road Academy goes to Brentwood Academy. They don't need to leave until about 4:15. Also at 4:30, McGavick's at Cane Ridge, and John Overton welcomes Hunters Lane. At 5 o'clock this evening is Providence Christian at Battleground Academy. Davidson Academy welcomes Mountain Juliet, while Donaldson Christian plays host to Nashville Christian. Also at 5, STEM Academies at Glencliff. Lawson hosting Hillsboro. Richland is at Loretto. Lawrence County is also at Murfreesboro Central, while Riverdale welcomes Rockville. Clarksville goes to Springfield at 5:30 today. It's Hendersonville hosting Harpeth Hall. At 6 o'clock, Montgomery Central is at Creekwood. Cheatham County is at East Robertson. Ezo Harding welcomes Antioch. Marshall County goes to Giles County. Columbia Academy is at Hickman County. And Hume Fogg hosts St. Cecilia Academy. It's Green Hill at Lebanon. Martin Luther King at Valor Collegiate. Kenwood goes to West Creek. White House Heritage welcomes Portland at 6:30. It's Clarksville Academy at Friendship Christian, and Watertown hosting Upperman at 7 tonight. Franklin at Centennial, Kirkwood at Northeast, Merrill Hyde hosting Culleoka. Boy, that'll be a good one.
That's a rematch of your Class A state semifinals from last year.
Should be fun to watch there. Brentwood's at Page, Ravenwood hosting Independence. Blackman goes to Siegel. Laverne's at Smyrna. Spring Hill hosts Stewart's Creek, while Mount Juliet's at Station Camp. Summit plays host to Nolensville, and Fairview goes to Sycamore.
In Major League Baseball action today, 5:40 start for Tampa Bay at Miami, the Battle of Florida. Houston continued its series at Boston at 6:10. San Diego is at St. Louis at 6:45. At 7:05, Milwaukee is at Wrigley Field against the Cubs. At 7:40, the Rockies host the Braves in game 2 of that 3-game set. And at 8:45, Cincinnati is at San Francisco. Minor League Baseball action, the Sounds begin their 6-game series and continue their 12-game, 13-day road trip at Durham. First pitch is at 5:35 Central Time. And WNBA action tonight. The Minnesota Lynx at the Washington Mystics. That's a 6 o'clock tip on NBA TV. At 6 o'clock on CBS Network, you can see the Phoenix Mercury at the Atlanta Dream. And that game is followed at 9:30 on CBS Sports Network by the Chicago Sky at the LA Sparks. And that is your rundown.
As every day, the top story is brought to you by our friends at Piggly Wiggly and Neely's Mill Shopping Center right here in Columbia. You can get fresh hand-cut meats. You can get meat and 3 vegetables in their deli, or you can get fresh produce, of course, and all of your other grocery needs at just cost plus just 10% at the register. So make sure to go see the folks at Piggly Wiggly. Again, voted the best grocery store in Murray County by our readers. So top story today, the Tennessee Sports Writers Association has announced its College Sports Players of the Week, and we thought we would bring them to you. We'll start in football. Sophomore quarterback for the Vanderbilt Commodores, A.J. Swan.
A.J. Swan
was 19 of 30 for 258 and 3 touchdowns. Also found Will Shepard twice for a couple of scores, London Humphreys for the other, as well as a 2-point conversion to Quincy Skinner. So there you go. The football player of the week. I'm not sure if that's.
Is
There's
there
a
not an
defense.
I think
Okay,
there's
there is a
defensive as
defensive
well.
player of the week as well. Ricky Swan. Goodness, DeRicky Wright was the defensive player of the week. It just doesn't. It doesn't show it here in the email, so I'm a little confused. Wright's a senior safety out of Gadsden, Alabama. Couldn't get him to go to Jacksonville. Like, yes, darn. He intercepted the ball in the end zone midway through the second quarter, keeping Vanderbilt on top. Then, with 2 minutes remaining in the game, with Vandy up by 7, he picked him another one. Got a couple picks in the game to seal it. So, congrats to him.
Okay. Men's soccer, Belmont's Brock Kuiper is the TSWA Player of the Week. Sophomore forward from Mason, Ohio, scored both of Belmont's goals in a pair of matches last week, a 1-0 win over Georgia State and a 1-1 draw against Florida Atlantic. In women's soccer, Eleanor Goff,
I think.
We'll have to ask Chip when we get him on because she's from MTSU. Senior midfielder from Milton Keynes, England.
Oh, so who knows?
Yeah.
Could be Guff.
Scored the only goal in the Lady Raiders' 1-0 win over Howard last week. And in volleyball, MTSU's Laura Jansen is the honoree. Junior outside hitter from Valburg, Netherlands. Volleyball getting into some of that Rick Insel recruiting, I guess. Earned all tournament honors at the Big Orange Bash as the Blue Raiders took on Clemson and Wofford. 12 kills against Clemson,
And
12 digs, and 3 aces against Wofford, 11 kills, 10 digs. So congrats to all the Tennessee Sports Writers Association's Players of the Week. And we will bring you this week's next week.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Mo, real quick before we get out of here, top story number 2 here is George Kliavkoff, or Klakoff, however you say it, plans to attend the college football playoff meetings. And I'm not sure why.
Well, what are the meetings? What is the discussion? What is the topic of discussion at these meetings?
My assumption is the contract, or maybe the discussion over what happens if a Power 5 conference were to dissolve, which does certainly seem to be the case at this point.
Well, then, if that's the discussion, then he probably should be there, since it's his Power 5 conference that seems like it's dissolving.
We don't need your input. You're not going to be here when this takes place, is also the kind of what I'm thinking here.
But he's got to be there to stand up for what's left of his conference.
And unfortunately, obviously, the situation at North Carolina yesterday delayed the vote with the Athletic Coast Conference.
Delayed the meeting.
It delayed the meeting, which
also the vote would have been taken.
Yes.
But yes.
So, I don't know. I think it will certainly be some interesting conversations come out of those meetings with, for whatever reason he's there. I think it's hilarious that he's going. You could not pay me if I were him to go. I would be so embarrassed to walk through the doors. Seriously, completely embarrassed.
I think it's his duty in that position to be there.
I guess, but boy, that's tough.
Oh, it's tough. But sometimes you got to do some tough things.
He's getting paid plenty of money to do it. So
yeah, absolutely.
Oh man. Well, let's get into that a little bit later during rapid fire reaction part 2, and we'll do that in the second hour. So make sure to stick around. Right now, we're going to take a break. M.A. VOEPEL standing by to talk a little WNBA. As we told you, the Liberty and Aces last night. We've got a few games tonight. We'll get into it right after this on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Back to the Lee Company studio in just a moment. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Custom Stone Handler supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between, discover what Hit City has to offer. Spend your nights cheering on the Nashville Sounds at First Horizon Park with giveaways, fireworks shows, theme weekends, and more. Single game tickets are on sale now. Visit NashvilleSounds.com to claim your seat today.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back into Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. I'm Chris Yao. He's Mo Patton, and we're excited to be with you here on this Top 5 Tuesday. Again, Top 5 Sports documentaries coming your way here in just a few moments. Looking forward to counting down that ridiculously lengthy list to pare down from. There's going to be a lot of documentaries that we got to get through to get to 5. So should be interesting to see where we go. Of course, Chip Walters is back. He'll be with us at the top of the hour. But now we're going to talk a little WNBA, as last night the regular season series concluded between what we all knew and believed to be the top 2 teams in the WNBA. And, well, it lived up to the hype. 2-2, the final tally for regular season games, 3-2 in favor of the New York Liberty, if you count the Commissioner's Cup. And certainly Becky Hammon and the Aces are going to be looking to take that back as it comes playoff time. But to talk a little bit more about it, we do have the authority in women's sports. There's no question it's M.A. VOEPEL. Thanks for joining us, Michael.
Hey, good to be with you guys.
Good to have you. A lot of questions, I guess, but have you been surprised at the success that the Liberty has had against the Aces, given that Candace Parker has been out for the majority of the series to this point.
Yeah, I mean, Maurice, that's really the key. It's sort of interesting talking to a couple Tennessee guys because I think Tennessee alums, if you will, one of them being Alicia Clark from Middle Tennessee with the Aces, is going to have they're going to have a big say in how this thing ends up. Alicia's going to have to play big. She's had to play big all her career, bigger than she actually is. Especially if Candace doesn't come back. Candace Parker is going to be the X factor in this series if she comes back. If she doesn't, the Aces are going to have to win in spite of not having her. To answer the surprise question, not really, because right now it's really fascinating. Both these teams have 4 really elite players, but right now the Liberty's depth is a little bit better. Candace comes back, and that equation, especially if she comes back and is able to play, that equation changes.
So you feel like there's a possibility she does not come back?
Yeah, they haven't given us any indication one way or another, but I think there's a lot of concern that if she comes back, will she be, Candace Parker, even Candace Parker at the age she is now, which is 37, at the age she is now, is still a very, very good player and makes a big difference in a series. But she's been out for quite a while, and we don't know. If she doesn't come back, the Aces are going to miss her. They've already missed her in the matchups with the Liberty.
94-85, the final in last night's matchup. And I would think I don't know. I mean, these are professional athletes at this point. Do they take any more confidence out of their performance over the course of the season and last night?
I think so. When they won, you guys mentioned the Commissioner's Cup, which obviously doesn't count in the standings, but it counts in terms of, what we saw out on the court. So the Liberty really wanted that game. They'd never, as even though they're an original franchise, they never really won any hardware, going all the way back to 97. So they wanted that game, and I think that it showed how much they wanted it the way they played. 2 days later, though, the Aces come back and win, and then since then the Aces have lost to 2 other teams. They've lost to LA and they've lost to Washington. So I think this whole month, honestly, because the Aces and the Liberty have played 4 times, this whole month has been about who's going to feel like they have that upper hand going in the playoffs. And right now, I think the Liberty is, as long as they don't have a stumble in the last 2 weeks, they're probably going to feel like they have the upper hand.
It's interesting because, you talk about taking the confidence from that for New York. It appears as though it's affecting Las Vegas negatively. Like you said, they had not lost a lot of games, but then they lose the Commissioner's Cup. Of course, they beat Sabrina Ionescu sans her shoe soles.
Sans her shoes.
Well, sans her shoes and her soles,
yes,
in Las Vegas. But that outside of that, they've really kind of struggled here of late.
Yeah, it's a really good point, because this team, when they're clicking offensively, they are the best team in the league, and they're still leading the league in points per game. We just had a game where Asia Wilson had 53 points, which tied the WNBA single game record. The issue with them, and you guys will understand this, if they don't play defense well, it really does affect their offense. I mean, because they're just a ram it down your throat offensive team, because they can score so well. So when they're in a position where they're not playing defense well, then it impacts the offense and they start not being themselves. They're a team that is used to really pretty much dominating other teams, and they've run into a team now they're not dominating, and then they've lost to 2 teams. And I will say Washington did have Elena Deladon back, which is, makes all the difference in the world. But they've lost to 2 teams they probably weren't expecting to lose to, especially not LA. Those things do kind of get in your psyche a little bit. And you guys know this too. Nobody's repeated in this league since 2001, 2002. So it's hard to do. It's hard to do in any professional sport, but it's proven pretty hard to do in the WNBA.
M.A. VOEPEL joining us here on Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. M.A., we are both Atlanta Braves baseball fans. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure how much you follow baseball, but just being in the sports world, you know what they're doing this year. Mm-hmm. And we've kind of slowly embraced the idea that what happens right now with the Braves doesn't matter. Do you feel like there's any of that with the Aces?
Oh, that's a great point. It really is. For what it's worth, I'm a huge baseball fan, but this has been the opposite of the Brave season for me because I'm a Cardinals fan.
No, I'm sorry.
No problem. We deserve to get whatever, we've been riding high for a long time, but this is a worst season since 1990 for the Cardinals. But it's very interesting you bring that up because I've thought that a few times. Like when you have that high after a season, which they all did, they had a great season last year. Everybody's gunning for you. I know that's a familiar sports position to be in, the team that's got the target on your back. Mm-hmm. But they also kind of know, look, once you're in the playoffs, it's all, that's what you're going for. They're almost certainly going to be the 1 seed. It's possible now that, New York's gotten it tighter. They could end up as a 2 seed, but they're not. It's going to be 1 or 2. They're going to be hosting, at least throughout the first round in the semifinals. And so I think that's a good point that maybe there's in the back of their minds, they're like, look, we know when we need to be playing our best. And we know what it feels like. We know what it feels like to win a championship. New York doesn't. Now, there are players on New York who do, obviously, Brianna Stewart and Courtney Vandersloot, but New York as a franchise hasn't won that. So I think that's a great point to make, that they're probably thinking, and certainly all Braves fans are thinking, right? Like, hey, this is all great, but we know when we really want the Braves to be great.
And if they're not great, then nothing else matters.
That's the worst, though, and it's that way in every sport.
Yeah,
it's crazy because we spent the last 10 minutes talking about 2 teams, and the fact is that it really feels like these are the only 2 teams who have an opportunity to be in the finals. I mean, I know the playoffs are 0-0 and anybody can do anything, but boy, it's just going to be really hard for anybody else to beat these 2 in any kind of series.
And I was going to ask, actually, M.A.
Yeah, I think that's true.
If it's not the Aces and the Liberties in the championship, who's got the best chance of upsetting that apple cart?
Probably the Connecticut Sun, which is, the Sun is sort of, I'm trying to think of a good analogy, in another sport. The Sun has been the team that's been able to upset other teams and get to the finals, but they've never won a championship.
Chicago last year, right?
Upset Chicago as defending champion last year, but still, lost in the finals. That said, that's a team that has really good players. They have a coach in Stephanie White, who's won a championship before as an assistant coach. So I think they might have the best chance. Dallas is sort of an interesting team because they're so talented. It's just hard to see Dallas putting together a series against either of the top 2 teams to beat them, because that's what it's going to come down to, is trying to beat those teams in a series. Maybe somebody gets 1 game off either one of them, but I'm not sure anybody but the other one can beat either of those teams in a series.
M.A., when you mentioned Stephanie White at Connecticut, there would be a lot of people in this area that would be shocked that she is coaching a successful team.
Yeah, absolutely, because that was not the case, obviously, at Vanderbilt. I've thought about this because I know you guys have. I mean, I've literally known Steph since she was in high school. And she knows basketball backward and forward. She's been a champion. She won an NCAA championship. I just, for whatever reason, that wasn't a great fit for her. I almost feel like the pro game is a better fit for Steph than the college game. At least it has been so far.
It just boggled my mind watching that train wreck here in Nashville. when they made that hire, I thought, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't understand, and nobody can make me understand how that didn't work.
Recruiting, I think, is such a big part of it. SEC being just, well, I mean, you know this, and you see it, you've seen it for so many years. It's such a tough conference, and it just didn't seem like they were ever able to. She was ever able to get a real foothold in what she wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
There's just, and we've seen this sort of happen over in the time the WNBA has been in existence. Some coaches, it turns out, just like in the men's game, are better pro coaches than college coaches. They relate well to the pro athlete. I think the pro system works really well with how they coach, and that has seemed to be the case with Steph.
Certainly going to be difficult for anyone to upset that apple cart, Mo, like you said. But, you know, we all kind of talked about this from the beginning of the year. New York, Las Vegas, kind of on this crash course to the finals. Obviously, you know, I think it would be a lot more entertaining if Candace Parker were able to find her way back into the fold. But obviously, you know, at her age, as a professional athlete coming off of a foot injury, you just never kind of know what to expect. So I feel like this is an interesting year for the WNBA, because here's the thing. That finals could be similar to the hype that we saw from the Final Four, I think. I mean, it really does have the star power, and that's kind of what the WNBA needs right now. Yeah,
I agree. You know, when you look back at what's been the best finals in terms of trying to get some of that mainstream coverage, you know, or mainstream people who maybe don't follow the league that want to at least tune in for a championship. When we had the LA Minnesota rivalry in the 2016 and 2017 finals, both those matchups went 5 games. Obviously, Candace Parker was a big part of that. Was you know, part of the LA winning the championship in 2016. You had Maya Moore when she was still in the league. You had Nneka Ogwumike, Lindsay Whalen, Simone Augustus. So you had that star power. And you're right. That's what people want to see. And I'll add this. I'm not an East Coaster, but I'm realistic. New York being in any kind of finals is always a good thing from a media standpoint. And again, the fact that it's been a long time since New York's won a professional basketball championship. The Liberty have never done it. So if you do have the Liberty in Vegas, that has all the stars aligned in terms of the star power, the interesting storylines, and the media coverage, I think.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this playoff, and obviously, you know, the rest of the regular season is still important. So, I mean, and I'm not sure that, you know, folks in Middle Tennessee are talking much about WNBA very much these days. But, you know, you get Candace and you get some folks with some ties into the finals, and we'll start talking about it a little bit more outside of this show, which we talk about it a lot more than anybody else. But that's neither here nor there. We're trying to get, you know, we want everybody here at Main Street Sports Today, and we appreciate you, MA, for joining us and telling us a little bit about what's going on in the WNBA and keeping us abreast on those storylines and updates, and we'll look forward to talking to you again soon.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys. Good luck to your Braves.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll take it. We'll absolutely take it. And to your Cardinals.
Yeah. They need it.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's take a break and talk about those Braves. It's baseball chatter, Braves chatter right after this on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bar and Joint. We'll be back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you. No matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Did you know that up to 80% of us will experience back or neck pain during our lifetime? Many of you are offered surgery or addictive pain pills to relieve your chronic pain. At the Dr. Gill's Center for Back, Neck, Chronic Pain Relief, we have been leading the way to better health, naturally, and have helped tens of thousands of people right here in Middle Tennessee for the past 30 years.
I came to Dr. Gill about 10 years ago after my local doctors recommended surgery. I knew about Dr. Gill and wanted to see if he could help me. 10 years later, I am pain-free, no surgery, and no pain pills.
Surgery is scary, and over 40% of all back surgeries fail, creating a cycle of surgery and pills. There is a safer solution to your chronic pain. Make the call to the Dr. Gill Center for Back, Neck, Chronic Pain Relief today and get your life back. This office visit is normally $299, but call today and receive your initial consultation, report of finding for just $49. But hurry, this offer won't last long. Call 615-768-8743. That's 615-768-8743.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between, discover what Hit City has to offer. Spend your nights cheering on the Nashville Sounds at First Horizon Park with giveaways, fireworks shows, theme weekends, and more. Single game tickets are on sale now. Visit NashvilleSounds.com to claim your seat today.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. August 29th, 2010, Brian McCann's two-out double became, thanks to video review, a walk-off home run as the Braves edged visiting Florida 7-6. McCann's drive bounced off the top of the right field wall, struck a banner beyond the wall, and came back onto the field. An 86-second review showed that to be the case, marking the first time in MLB history that review resulted in a walk-off home run. That was this day in Braves history.
He'll take that. He just stopped for a little break at second base.
Unfortunately, I think I was watching that game, actually. Shocking, I know. But, the spontaneity gets stopped for the review, and it's tough to get that back, the celebration and that kind of thing. I mean, he still got the water cooler, and he still got drenched and everything, but it just wasn't quite the same with the review in there. But you'd rather get it right.
Yeah, it's funny because I can, and they obviously, I don't think they did this back then. They may, but with the talking portion, if you can just imagine the umpire saying, after review, it is ruled a home run, and then
run off.
Yeah, then you gotta. Of course, the one problem is you gotta wait till they get to home plate.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, you got to make sure it touches.
You can't go maul them at second base. You got to. So Brian's got to
let him score.
Brian's got to try it, and then you get to home plate. It's just a lot that kind of takes that
As
situation.
Jeff Francoeur calls it, the fastest 2 minutes in baseball.
There you go.
Yeah, man, they were harsh with each other. Those guys. It's fun.
It cracks me up. I love it. I love that they can be. And it's it's like you get a little piece of what the clubhouse was probably like.
I don't know. You don't get Valley.
Right. Yeah.
So you didn't get to see the players only
No.
last Wednesday night. McCann was in the booth for a couple of innings.
Oh.
So it was a 5-man booth.
Jeez.
And
couldn't do that at First Horizon. We've tried.
You could barely do a 2-man booth at First Horizon. Yeah, the press box wasn't designed with the press in mind at First Horizon, unfortunately. Yeah.
Oh man, it's so funny. But yeah, I will take walk-off home runs on video review, spontaneity, celebration or not. That's all I'm saying.
You know what else I'll take?
A 14-4 win.
I'll take 10-run wins.
Yeah.
All the time.
Kind of expected.
You kind of expected it, but again, this game was 5-4 after 6.
Sure. But then you got into that Colorado bullpen. And the Braves have their best reliever on the year on its team.
Yeah.
He got to pitch. So Brad Hand did get the appearance last night.
Yeah, he got the final out, I do believe. So, yeah.
It was, offensively, again, who knows how long it took him to wake up. But
I think Ronald Acuna Jr. must be on Twitter.
I think all the Braves are on Twitter.
And he must have seen all of the Mookie Betts talk. And, I had this conversation with Jody last night. I don't want to root against former Overton multi-sport standout Mookie Betts in the MVP race. But I've been a Braves fan way longer than I've known Mookie.
Well, yeah, but it's almost one of those either way I'll take it kind of things.
Basically, that's where I'm at. But I hate, and we see this all the time. We see this in college football where a guy goes through the previous season doing everything to prove he's the number 1 draft pick in the next year's NFL draft. And then you see everybody shoot holes in that guy. That's kind of the dynamic here with Ronald Acuna Jr. All year, he has been, the leader in the clubhouse in terms of National League MVP. And Luis Arias we heard about, and Freddie Freeman we heard about, and Matt Olson we heard about, and now Mookie Betts is kind of the
dude hit
the flavor of the
700.
month.
Literally, he hit 700 this month. Yeah. I mean, I get it.
I get it, but I mean, Acuna hasn't hit 700 in any month, but he's hitting 340 for the year, and he's about to go 30-60 with his next home run, and who knows where that ends up with the entire month of September to go.
Man, if he could get to 40 on the home runs, that would just be.
And 70?
Yeah. Oh, well, even with 60. But I think he's going to get 70.
Yeah, he's going to steal 10 more bases. I don't know if he's going to hit 11 more homers. But I mean,
you remember the 40-40 chase a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But I love that now, stolen bases don't matter.
Right, because the base paths are shorter and the bases are bigger. And yeah. But
by a couple of inches.
But that's my entire point. Every argument is to discredit what Ronald Acuna Jr. has done over the course of the season. And I don't understand the anti-Acuna, anti-Braves sentiment throughout baseball.
It's a little insane. I mean, if the two names were reversed, it would be a runaway for Mookie Betts. They would be saying he's only been good for a month.
Now, again, and we had this discussion last week about Mookie and his versatility defensively. You know, I don't think he's been good for a month. I think he's been great for a month.
Yeah.
I think he's been good all year. I think he's been pretty much vintage Mookie Betts.
Yeah.
It's almost kind of what you expect out of him. But, and I don't know that he should necessarily be punished or penalized for that. But what Acuna's done 2 years out, basically from that knee, I think has to be considered as well. Because, you know, you had people last year telling you, well, he's never going to be back. He's never going to be what he was. And you're right. He's not.
He's stolen twice as many bases as he
Ever.
did in his, as he's ever stolen. Okay. You mentioned a lot has been made of the versatility and utility of Mookie Betts.
Hmm?
I don't know that Ronald Acuna Jr. couldn't play shortstop or second base, but we don't have to know because the Braves have all-stars at those positions. So I don't know what you want him to do. Should Snicker just play him at third base just to show?
Just to show you he can do it.
I mean, is that what we're doing here? Like,
Yeah,
we have all-stars.
Good luck with that. Yeah. Yeah, we have an infield full of all-stars. We don't have to put our outfielders in the infield.
What do you want me to do about it? That's not you shouldn't penalize
not my
Ronald
fault.
Acuna Jr. for that. You
Right.
can't do that. So anyway,
That's a great point.
I think there's a lot that can be argued here, and that's why I think it is a neck and neck race. Mookie is now the betting favorite at -115, but Acuna is just at 110, plus 110. So I mean, and Freddie's at plus 100. So it's a two-man race at this point. And here, this is the bottom line. It's all going to come down to September.
Well, and these 4 games starting Thursday
could make a big difference.
Yeah. Last night, though, again, after all of the talk on Twitter and elsewhere, Acuna 4 for 5 with a double, a home run, his 29th, 4 runs scored, 5 ribs, and 2 steals, giving him his 60th and his 61st of the season.
And the only player to do that is since 1913, I think, is what I saw.
Is who?
Acuna.
Oh, he's the only player to do that since 1913?
Yeah.
What, 4 for 5 with 4 runs, 5 ribs, and 2 steals?
Yeah.
And a double and a home run?
Well, without the double and the home run, just
Yes.
the other stuff.
Since 1930. In 110 years,
Yes.
only one player has done that.
And it's him.
He is him.
But it doesn't, that's the thing. It doesn't matter that he's doing all these things that nobody's ever done because Mookie hits a lot of doubles. I don't know.
I really don't want to go anti-Mookie.
No, I'm just saying, like, you're telling me that all this stuff doesn't matter.
That's what's
What?
irritating about it. How can you tell me it doesn't matter?
What?
Stolen bases don't matter. Never mind that he stole third against the Giants. They threw it into left field and he scored what turned out to be the winning run, wasn't it?
Well, and last night he doesn't score on.
If he doesn't
steal that base to second, he doesn't score on a base hit from Olsen. So I mean, yeah, stolen bases matter.
Absolutely.
So anyway, it's a little ridiculous, but people clearly love him in Colorado.
People clearly love him in
At
Colorado.
least 3 guys do.
A lot of MVP chants, in addition to the reception he got out in right field in the bottom of the 8th?
I have no idea what inning it was in, but he was some headline saying accosted. I thought he was more embraced, literally.
Well,
do you have that video, Justin? It's in your DMs.
You slid into him.
I did. I slid into his DMs and sent him a video, but it's certainly playable on the air. So I guess
it's good to know.
Yeah, if you've got it, we'd love to see it. That's all I'm saying. Oh, 1 second. Anyway, embraced in right field by.
But if you know that they're coming to embrace you. It's different from them coming and you not knowing what their
intent
mindset is. Yeah. So
especially given the fact that in Chicago, they just had a lady who apparently smuggled a gun in her belly fat.
Into Wrigley?
No, into Guaranteed Rate Field where they had the shooting the other day.
Oh, so goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Justin's got that video. Let's see it. This is wild. Acuna's like, okay. What do I do? What do I do? Calm me down. Calm me down. And boom! Nice. Well done. Great job by security there, too.
A little delayed, but
Well, I mean, interception.
Yeah.
With the elbow. Look,
the people's elbow.
looked like you come across there with a Dusty Rhodes, the American dream.
Goodness gracious.
And here come the Braves players to Ronnie's aid.
And if someone on Twitter pointed out the delay before his teammates got there and trying to, again, create distractions. It's like they don't even like him. They were probably stunned.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out what in the world? What is going on?
What's happening right now?
Yeah.
And look at him. He's so excited. He's like, wait. This, you know what this reminds me of? The guy in the white hat. This reminds me of trying to take Charlie to take a nap. And she's saying, my iPad, my colors.
Oh, Lord.
Or whatever she wants. Her paints or whatever she wants. She said, no, wait. That's what it reminds me.
Not yet. Can't go nap yet.
But yes.
Don't miss those days, by the way.
Well done by Ronnie and the Colorado crew. But I thought that was pretty interesting.
It's very interesting.
And so let's see. Do the Braves have a lineup for tonight yet? I haven't seen one come across my feed, but also nope, doesn't look like it.
Still no lineup.
Still no lineup, but man,
can tell you it's a right-hander on the mound for the Rockies, which should dictate Eddie Rosario in left. Peter Lambert, 3-4 with a 4.92 ERA and a 1.33 WHIP. 62 strikeouts and 71 in the third.
Which, going against Charlie Morton tonight.
13 and 10, 3.37.
23 decisions, folks. 23 decisions.
In 25 starts.
That's insane. That's wild. At 39 years old.
That's a heck of a ratio, actually. Brave starter tomorrow has not been announced. Kyle Freeland, the lefty, going for the Rockies. 5-13 with a 5 even ERA. Braves got a great shot at sweeping this series.
They should sweep this series. Charlie's not giving up a run in his last 3 starts. I don't know that stays tonight, considering it is Colorado. But
well, they got that out of the way early last night. I think Ryan McMahon hit a solo off Elder in the first after the Braves did not score in the first, which is
almost
gotten to the point that it's pretty rare.
Yeah,
when they don't.
No question there. So anyway, it's going to be a good one. We'll be back tomorrow to talk a little more Braves, but we'll take a break right now as Chip Walters is back, standing by. Talk a little Blue Raiders, Roll Tide, Italy, who knows? Right after this on Main Street Sports Today.
You've been putting back a few, and a few becomes a few too many. For a moment, you think about calling for a ride. Nah, you live nearby. What's the worst that can happen? You get pulled over, your insurance goes up, you lose your license, you total your car, you kill someone.
Let your child play like the pros this fall season and join Titans Flag Football in their NFL Flag Football League. Titans Flag Football is no contact, easy to learn, convenient with teams meeting once per week for practices and games on Sundays. And we cannot forget it's ridiculously fun. Teams are co-ed with ages from pre-K through 8th grade in select locations across Middle Tennessee. Visit TitansFlagFootball.com and sign up before registration closes on September 4th. Let's play together and win together this fall season with Titans Flag Football.
Y'all, I'm serious right now. They have a dragon here. I saw it. But no, they don't. There's no such thing as dragons. I swear, I saw it. It had huge claws. Get out of here. It had eyes as big as the moon. Come on, I'll show you. Wait up. Do you hear that? We're almost there. Whoa! I told you so. That is a dragon.
Tired of hanging lights every year? We get it. That's why Southern Nights is here to help. We install programmable lighting on your home or business so you can enjoy beautiful, customizable lighting all year round. No more ladders, tangled lights, or cold nights outside. We do the work, you do the celebrating. Call Southern Nights today and take the hassle out of holiday lighting forever. For a free quote, give us a call at 931-241-3074 or visit our Facebook page at Southern Nights.
There is nothing better than drinking an ice-cold beverage while taking in a Nashville Sounds baseball game. Hi, I'm Stephanie Miller with Mornings on Main Street. The Nashville Sounds and Main Street Media Television have teamed up to promote Sunday Family Fun Day here at First Horizon Park each Sunday home game. Just go to your favorite Main Street Media website and click on Sounds Main Street Media Day banner to register to win free tickets. And then we'll see you here at the ballpark.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yell and Mo Patton getting you ready for a weekend of college football coming up, and we'll start today and talk a little bit about MTSU as they open their season in T-Town, Tuscaloosa. Should be a lot of fun. And to talk about it, we've got Chip Walters, the voice of the Blue Raiders, to join us. What's up, Chip?
Buongiorno.
Yeah, just going to speak in Italian the whole time.
How much more? How much more you got?
I got two more words. You'll hear them as we go along. So
spaghetti,
no,
and calamari. That's all I got.
Chip, we talked briefly earlier in the show. Obviously, MTSU goes down to Tuscaloosa, taking on the highly touted, highly ranked Crimson Tide. What, number 4 in the preseason? Is that right?
Coaches polled they're number 3, AP number 4.
Okay. Well, we go by AP around here, so
coaches don't.
Even though we don't subscribe, but at any rate, how much problem are you having with your prep from not having an Alabama depth chart?
Good question. Good question. I will preface it by saying that this is my 15th year in the play-by-play chair. Only twice have we not gotten a two deep at all prior to the game. The only other time was at Michigan, and when Jim Harbaugh, they never put out one. So at that point, what you do is you rely on your relationships with your opposing play-by-play announcer, and Eli Gold is a guy that I've known for a while, and so I think we're going to be able to get some idea, although there will be, and I'm sure at quarterback it'll be whoever trots out there for the first series, but it does put a crimp in, and I didn't really buy Coach Saban's that it puts undue pressure on his players. I mean, have every other week that he's ever coached there, has it not been undue pressure then? To me, it seems like, and I really don't think it has anything to do with Middle, because he and Stock have a really good relationship. I think it's more of anything just trying to make Texas work a little harder next week to try to figure out what's what. But, by midnight Saturday night, they're going to have the film of it anyway. So I'm not sure what his motive was here.
That's an interesting thought, Chip, is, create a little bit more work, a little bit more havoc maybe for Texas, which is shaping up as a pretty big game. And it's not about MTSU. That does make a little bit more sense. But like you said, just trying to understand what exactly the rationale is. I mean, what is it ultimately that you're trying to hide?
I don't know. I don't know. But, a lot of times that's why coaches will put in will run a double reverse in game 2 of the season, just so everybody else has to spend time, showing that and how to defend it and what to look for, which takes away time from the bread and butter of what you do anyway. So I don't know. It's, we're not allowed to question. So you know how it is.
I mean, at this point, and again, it's not about MTSU necessarily, and I'm not sure really in the grand scheme of things if it would matter, but you almost wish Stock hadn't put one out.
Well, and I think I know what you're saying, but I'd rather play the high road, and do it the way you're supposed to do it. I asked one of the things kind of similar to this. I asked Stock about on his radio show the other night, last night, was, Brian Kelly came out a couple of weeks ago and wanted, he floated the idea that colleges, he'd like to see them go to a NFL style injury report, especially with all of the gambling apps that are out there and all that. And Stock's immediate reaction was that he would rather protect the kids' privacy. Although what Kelly is saying to do is his idea is he thinks that by putting it out there, it protects the kids from unscrupulous people trying to reach out to them to find out, okay, how are you? All this kind of stuff. Just go ahead and put it on a it'd be filled with lower body injuries. So, but I don't know where that's going to go, but and it all kind of leads back. I'm not sure what the motivation was, but anyway, it's just part of what you do, and it makes it really tough. Being the first, it makes it tough on me, being the first week of the season, which it was with Michigan a few years ago. But I will give credit to the gentleman who does their games. He and I got on the phone and basically he told me what he thought it was going to be, and it was right on. So I think we'll be in good shape to be able to get some charts put together.
Well, good. I know you didn't work on it any while you were in Italy, and so you're kind of working uphill at this point. So I don't want things to be any tougher for you than necessary. So.
Hey, as long as I've got my man Wayne Gross there spotting, we'll be in good shape.
As long as somebody else can read the roster and the name and the number on the jersey, I'll be all right.
Yep.
It doesn't really matter. You still got to look at the roster sometimes.
Surround yourself by good people.
That's correct.
Yep.
And we were really concerned about your food choices out in Italy, but I'm maybe more concerned about where he's going to take the crew out in Tuscaloosa.
Well,
but you may not go. I mean, what are y'all driving down Saturday morning?
No, we're going to drive down Friday afternoon.
Okay.
So I'm thinking Archibald's.
I think that's a good call.
So either that or De Palma's, one of the two.
Ooh, that would be a different one. And but yeah,
haven't you had enough Italian?
Yeah, there's that.
There is that.
And can you eat there? And then
Can you eat Alabama Italian after eating
Italian
Italy Italian? Yeah,
And
that's
Italy?
true. That's true. But I whatever works. We just have a good time on Friday night. But I'm kind of leaning toward. Everybody tries to go to Dreamland. I've done Dreamland a bunch, but I've never been to Archibald's, and I hear good things about that.
Chris will tell you that Archibald's is better.
It is.
Yeah. So it's in Northport, right?
Yes, just across the bridge, the Lurleen B. Wallace Bridge.
Gotcha. That may be the pick.
I would really like to stow away on one of these trips. Unfortunately, my Friday nights are pretty well spoken for, but I'd really like to hang out.
What do you do on game day? How does that work? Because you get it's a 6:00 kickoff, right?
It is.
So how does Saturday work for you?
Well, one thing it's helpful this week in that it has been a bit of a short week for me, but it allows me to spend a little extra time. But it'll be get up, find some breakfast, which we've got a couple of picks there. The hotel does breakfast too, so the team we're staying different from the team this time, which is a little bit different. They're going to stay in Birmingham. We're staying in Tuscaloosa. Then, by the time you get done with that, it's almost probably 11 and, get cleaned up and get checked out of the hotel, go get over to the stadium, and you're probably over there by 1 o'clock, and you allows JP plenty of time to get set up. It's Joe's first road trip with us. He wants to see everything. The Alumni Association has a tailgate party going on, and I want to try to get over there to that for a little bit. And before you know it, it's 3 o'clock, 3:30, and we go on the air at 5. And I want to have time to talk to Eli and some of the other folks in the Alabama media contingent that we get to see every now and then. So looking forward to that and see some of the guys that I've done interviews with already this week. I think I've had 6 different outlets from down there have me on their schedule to talk to this week.
Chip Walters, the voice of the Blue Raiders, joining us here on.
Have you got your pencil real quick?
I do.
Metro Diner breakfast. Trust me.
Oh yeah, is it
the same as the Metro Diner in Murfreesboro?
It may be. I don't know.
It probably is, which is very good.
Delicious.
Is that if you're coming away from campus, coming back toward the interstate? Is it in the strip mall on the right?
Yep.
Jody and I hit that on our way down to Gulfport.
Yeah,
that's a good call.
I think we have one of those in Murfreesboro. It's a chain, but it is outstanding.
Yeah, it's my favorite place to eat.
That's good.
Breakfast there.
As I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, Chip Walters, the voice of the Blue Raiders, joining us here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chip, in your 15 years in the play-by-play chair, you've had a good amount of of color analysts, and most all of them have come up through MTSU football, from Kelly Holcomb to Wes Counts to Jeff Murphy, Dennis.
Yes.
What's it going to be like working with a guy who's a relative outsider, and not just an outsider, but a former topper?
No, he didn't play at Western. He played at Samford, and then he transferred to Middle and finished his degree at Middle. He didn't play.
He had some Western ties there.
He has some. He's got some Eastern ties with Coach Wells. Which, by the way, today is the 1-year anniversary of Coach Wells' heart attack that almost took him away from us. But to answer your question, Joe's got he's got a lot of football experience, but what's going to be different is, for the first time ever, I will be working with another person who is a broadcaster by trade, and which will be which will be different. I think his point of view will be a little different. The quarterbacks that I've worked with have all, have that quarterback vision of where they can talk about, they can describe to you each of the 4 routes that were run and who was open, who wasn't, all that kind of stuff. I think it'll be potentially a little less technical, but I think every one of those guys has brought a different skill set of their own, and I think Joe's no different. I think we know that there's going to be some entertainment value with Joe in the booth, and we get along great, and it'll be a lot of fun. We'll set each other up, and as he and I talked when we first talked about it, I said goal number 1 is to be accurate with what we do, and goal number 2 is if we have the opportunity to make it entertaining for the listener while being accurate, that would be goal number 2. So that's kind of where we are. He is super fired up, and I'm equally as excited to have him on.
Inform and entertain.
There you go. Exactly.
In that order.
Exactly. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Chip, obviously football is the thing this week. What else is going on over on campus?
Oh my gosh. We coming up, something to kind of keep on the radar is the upcoming but tickets are available now for the match against Vanderbilt at Geodis Park. So you can find there are links out there on social media for that. Today is the 29th. We had women's soccer and volleyball over the weekend.
Hey, real quick, since you're talking about women's soccer, we need a pronunciation. Eleanor. Guff, Gew,
Golf. You got me.
We stumped him.
Gough.
Hang on here. Oh, hang on. Listen here. Ellie Golf.
Golf.
Okay.
Golf.
On the GoBlueRaiders.com website, if you go to the soccer roster, right by the name, there's an ear, and it is that person pronouncing their own name.
Oh, well, you can't hide money.
We could have done that, and it would have come through.
That's right. I mean, I don't know if you can hear me right now, but
no, it would have come through. So we were just making sure because
Ellie Golf is how she says it.
Oh, so
Ellie Golf.
Ellie, not Eleanor.
Yeah.
Golf.
Okay.
Well, she was Keynes, England.
Yeah, TSWA Women's Soccer Player of the Week, and we were trying to figure out how to pronounce her name earlier.
Ellie Golf.
Gotcha. Now we know.
And is it Laura, the Jansen young lady who won it for volleyball? How does she pronounce her first name?
Well, again, we go to our technology. They've not put those up there. I think it's Laurie.
Okay.
I think it's Laurie.
Okay. All right.
She is from the Netherlands, so
yeah,
Yeah, y'all going all international over there. Like it.
International superstars.
There you go.
At middle. Now, you were saying, sorry, women's soccer was last week. That was important.
Yeah, that was going on, and the women's soccer team split. They went to Loyola of Maryland and Howard, and so they split that trip. Women's volleyball split down at the Clemson tournament. Coming up on Thursday, soccer will face Lipscomb at 7:00 at the Dean Hayes Track and Soccer Complex. Women's volleyball on the road at Iowa this weekend for an event there. Women's golf is at the South Alabama Intercollegiate. Track and field cross country. It'll be cross country at the Memphis Twilight Classic. Actually, women's volleyball there, not in a tournament. It shows here at Friday at Iowa. Well, it may be a tournament. They play Iowa Friday. The Jackrabbits, those pesky Jackrabbits of South Dakota State, on Saturday, and of course, there is a football game on Saturday night.
Fry Fest Invitational.
There you go.
Whatever the Fry Fest is.
Is that named after Hayden Fry?
That's the only thing I can guess. And now they're not playing this in the football stadium like Nebraska is, are they? Because Nebraska's playing volleyball in a football in their
with 90,000 people. Yeah,
it's going to be fantastic. We should have asked MA about that because she wrote that story, or he wrote that story.
Well, when we were in Italy, the one channel I got on the TV in my hotel room in Rome one night was a women's volleyball match in an outdoor stadium that looked like it had. I mean, it had the regular indoor floor. It wasn't sand volleyball, but it looked like it had about 20,000 people there, and it was Italy against some other country, Bosnia Herzegovina or something like that.
Chip, we cannot let you go without asking you about food. What was the best thing you had over there?
There were two meals. One, we had a pregame meal at a farmhouse / winery outside of Bologna that had that included pork ribs, white meat lasagna were to the two main courses. There was mashed potatoes, roasted eggplant, and leeks cooked with raisins and walnuts, which was fantastic. That was a great meal. And then the final night there in Milan, went to a restaurant and had poached sea bass that was sourced from the Livorno Sea nearby, that was cooked with olives and pine nuts with apple pie and ice cream for dessert. But so that was another terrific meal. But the staple, as often as we could get it, was outstanding gelato.
Oh, of course.
We saw pictures, I think, of the poached sea bass, and my thought was, even as it was pointed out to me, that Italy is a peninsula. I never really think of seafood when I think Italy. So.
Seafood is a huge staple in the Italian diet, and in Italian restaurants that are true Italian. But in the Livorno Sea is near Livorno, which is the major port in central and northern Italy, and that's where we played our first game, was in Livorno, and we were, I don't know, a couple of miles from the coast, but it was very well prepared, and it was just as tender as it could be, just very tasty.
Well, we're glad you had a good time. I'm glad you were able to do that. I mean, that's a once in a lifetime type deal, I would think. So great that you were able to tag along for that.
There's a 10-minute video that's up, and you can. I think it's on my Facebook page. I sat down with Nick McDevitt yesterday just to kind of, while it was still fresh, do a little quick recap of what he thought that what it did for his team, that kind of thing. And he's actually going to be on my radio show in the morning. He and one of the players, they're going to come on and talk about the trip and in a little more extended format and get some of their, things they like the best. But we actually, we saw a ton of stuff. No way as an individual person could I have ever seen as much as we saw as a group, because we were fortunate to have specified times to get into some of the bigger things like the Colosseum, the Vatican, the gallery, Academia, where the statue of David is, things like that there were some people who were waiting all day to get in, not even knowing for sure they would get in to see it that day. But we put a lot in, and I think everybody who went on the trip got a lot out of it for sure.
Well, we're glad that you got a chance to go. We're glad that we got a report when you got back, and we'll be even more glad to hear how your trip to Alabama went on this Saturday. Hopefully, it would be really cool if you come back with a win. That's all I'm saying.
That would be nice. Has the rocket been torn down at the state line?
No.
It's still there?
Yes.
Okay. Is the rest area open or closed?
There is no rest area. There's nothing.
It's just a drive-by now.
It's just, yes. And you know,
8 more miles down the road and go stop at Buc-ee's, right?
There you go. You can stop at Buc-ee's, or you could, just take the scenic route down 43 and take it all the way.
Well,
Come through the
that's
dimple.
probably not going to happen.
Take the long way around, Chip. Enjoy your time.
I understand that, but
No.
places to go and people to see. So
I don't blame you at all. No. Well, again, we appreciate it. We will talk with you next week, and enjoy Tuscaloosa.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Chip.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, rapid fire reaction part due on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Stick around.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Custom Stone Handlers supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between, discover what Hit City has to offer. Spend your nights cheering on the Nashville Sounds at First Horizon Park with giveaways, fireworks shows, theme weekends, and more. Single game tickets are on sale now. Visit NashvilleSounds.com to claim your seat today.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily, as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yow, Mo Patton on this beautiful Tuesday. Such a nice day. So looking forward to more nice days this week It's supposed to be in the mid 80s all week long until Saturday, but at least Friday night should be a solid night. So, some news out of course, the 53-man roster cuts are taking place today. First, just kind of go down this list. This is from MusicCityMiracles.com as they're posting just tweets from the Armani Marsh, a defensive back, has been released. A former walk-on at Washington State, but won't quite make the 53-man. Kearis Jackson will make the roster and is likely to be the kick returner on opening day. Obviously, Kyle Phillips is out, so that would make sense. But I think the big news in the AFC South has nothing to do with the Titans, although they did, according to Ian Rappaport, they did trade for former Patriots kicker Nick Folk.
Did we know what we get? What was given up for him?
No, just that there was a trade and it was to the Titans. So that's what we know right now. But I'm just throwing this out there.
Mm-hmm.
The Patriots waived Bailey Zappi and Malik Cunningham. What are they going to do for a backup quarterback? Yeah. I mean,
I smell what you're cooking over there, Rock. You telling me that?
I'm telling you, I don't know. I'm just saying this is fodder here.
I can't imagine the idea that Malik Willis is a better option than Bailey Zappi.
No. If we got Bailey Zappi in a trade for Nick Folk and Bailey Zappi for Malik Willis, I would take it.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah, so I can't see that being the play for the Patriots.
No, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, so.
I mean, but I don't know what they're going to do.
I don't care.
I guess Will Greer is available. So
there you go.
I don't know. But also, Indianapolis did not find a fair value offer for Jonathan Taylor and is not trading the All-Pro running back, but he did stay on the PUP list, which means he will miss the first 4 games of the year, and fantasy football owners everywhere collectively gasp. Luckily, my draft isn't until Sunday, and I don't have to worry about it. Although apparently we have a guy in our league who drafted who was the running back that was out all year last year? That was a running back. He got hurt in preseason and was out for the year, and dude drafted him.
Oh, there
yeah.
you go.
So anyway, I guess he's probably high on his list at this point. But yeah, no trade for Jonathan Taylor, which I feel like is really interesting.
I mean, is that just more of how that position has been devalued, or is that more of the Colts being the Colts?
It's the Colts being the Colts. I mean, they're I don't think they were ever going to trade him. I think they told him they would to appease him, maybe.
Well, I mean, you might as well get something for him, though, hadn't you?
Maybe. There is a second deadline, October 31st, so guess we could see that. Mike Herndon has a list of the Titans 53-man. Ryan Tannehill, Malik Willis, Will Levis, Derrick Henry, Ty Spears, Julius Chestnut, DeAndre Hopkins, Traylon Burks, Kyle Phillips, Chris Moore, Noah Westbrook, Akine Colton Dow, and Kearis Jackson.
No Racey McMath.
No, he was released yesterday.
That's right.
Tight ends, only 3. A lot of folks are thinking maybe 5. They got us. They got
5
down
tight
to
ends?
3. Yeah, they were.
Chika Conquo, the kid that just got drafted, and who?
Trayvon Wesco, and Joshua. 10 offensive linemen, whatever that means. Andre Dillard.
Throw numbers at it, you know?
Andre Dillard, Peter Skronsky, Aaron Brewer, Daniel Brunskill, Chris Hubbard, Dylan Radens, Corey Levin, Jalen Duncan, Xavier Newman, and Justin Murray. Only 4 defensive linemen. But obviously, as long as Jeffrey Simmons and Tyler Tart are available, we should be okay. Jaden Peavy, Naquan Jones. Outside linebackers, Harold Landry, Danico Autry, Arden Key, Rashad Weaver, and Caleb Murphy. Rashad Weaver. Okay. Inside linebackers, Aziz Al-Shahar, Jack Gibbons, Monty Rice, Luke Gifford, and Otis Reese. Cornerbacks, Christian Fulton, Sean Murphy Bunting, Roger McCreary, Trey Avery, and Anthony Kendall. Not on that list. Which, hold on, let me make sure.
Read that again.
PUP is Caleb Farley. Okay. Safety, Kevin Bauer, Damani Hooker, Elijah Molden, Mike Brown, and Matthew Jackson. Specialist, Nick Folk, Ryan Stonehouse, and Morgan Cox at long snapper. Suspended is Petit Frere, IR, and on the exempt list is Hassan Haskins. And, of course, you've got Shaquille Brown, and on the PUP is Caleb Farley. So there you go.
There you go.
7 wide receivers. Guess we've got depth.
7.
Hopkins, Burks, Phillips, Moore, Westbrook, Akine, Dowell, and Jackson. Which Jackson is more of a return specialist than a receiver, I think. Kyle Phillips is hurt for however long. So Hopkins, Burks, and Chris Moore, those are your 3?
I guess. Either Chris Moore or NWI, probably.
So we'll see. See how it works. Other things to talk about. Jim Harbaugh says that players should be involved in revenue sharing. I think it's easy for coaches to say that because it's easy to say the SEC tournament shouldn't be in Hoover. And I know it's probably not the perfect analogy, but tell me how that works, Jim. Because I can tell you how it would work. You don't get paid $7 million. You get paid $1 million.
And, you know, maybe he shouldn't get paid $7 million. Now, I don't know how many coaches are going to agree with him when that is okay, it's this or that.
Very few.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
Yeah, wait,
and
I want them to get paid. I just don't want them to get my money.
Yeah, and that's kind of, you know, I think Roy Johnson this year, Dabo Sweeney may be the most honest of them all because he knows where the money's got to come from. I'm just saying. No, man, we don't need to pay these players. What are you talking about? Willis? No. I'm serious. So I don't know. The money's got to come from somewhere, and the best place for it to come from is out of the coaches.
It's from the overpaid coaches.
The overpaid coaches. That, I mean, come on now.
I mean, in all seriousness, how does what they do warrant what they get?
I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to say this, and I may get some heat. I may get some backlash, but I'm going to tell you. Players obviously are an important factor in all sports. I mean, obviously you can't have sports without players. But
you're breaking ground with that one.
But as a fan, I'm a fan of the name on the front, not the name on the back. And I don't care if Mo Patton's playing or if Justin Kulik's playing, because he's got a jersey in case they need him. I'm going to the game because of the name on the front, not the name on the back. So how much is it? How much should coaches be paid for that? I don't know. But they are the constant. Players are the variable. And I think that matters to at least some degree. Do I think it matters to the degree of $7 million? No, I don't. But that's the argument that I'm going to throw out there. That's the argument I'm going to make for that. And do I think players should get paid? Absolutely. I think they should get a stipend of some amount of money. Don't go back and read the Chanticleer from 2006. You will hear me say something completely different. That was a fabricated argument in order to go in our mirror column where we both chose a side of an argument. Okay? That was not necessarily my viewpoint. It just happened to be I had to argue that side.
So this was a debate.
It was a debate. It was called Mirror. Chris Yao, Chris Lundy. And we were.
So this was a debate exercise, and it was not necessary.
Yeah, it was just an exercise. It's nothing to do with anything else. But I do think that it matters. But I certainly think that players should get some sort of stipend. I don't know what that stipend is. But anyway, I mean, not every coach gets paid $7 million. Some coaches get paid $500,000, like Bill Clark in 2014. So obviously you can't. I mean, you're not going to cut his pay. Can't cut it. Certainly can't cut it $6 million. He doesn't have $6 million to cut. Maybe we just put all the FBS money into one pool, pay every coach $1 million each, and split the money among all the. Come on.
That's almost as hilarious as whatever viewpoint you took in 2006.
Maybe that's is that the only way to make it work?
I just don't.
Maybe
think,
I don't know.
I don't think Nick Saban and Jeff Tedford are going to get paid the same amount, and Nick Saban be okay with it.
Look, I'm not saying it should happen. I'm saying that may be the only way to make this happen. So I mean, yeah. Or maybe, maybe it's $2.5 million for Power 4 conferences and,
You've already made the adjustment.
$750 for
Group of
G6.
Six.
G6. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot that you could go. I'm just saying, like, if that's kind of where we're at, maybe that's what we have to do. If you want revenue sharing, that's how revenue sharing works. Everybody gets the same in revenue sharing, including coaches.
Who's going to administer that?
Good for you, Brent Key at Georgia Tech. You just got a pay raise.
Congrats. Well, there you go.
So, who administers that? I don't know. I mean, clearly not the NCAA.
Clearly not the NCAA.
It'd have to be the college football playoff. It'd have to be the playoff would have to be the head of that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm just saying it's
it's interesting.
I think you got to look at everything. It's easy for coaches to say players should get paid. Is what I'm saying. That's the point.
The devil is in the details.
Yes, it's always there's more to the story. Not here's how to here is the rest of the story. That's that's how it works. Okay.
What's funny is I saw you say that yesterday. So yeah.
No, yeah, exactly. That's what I meant. I mean, that's kind of where I'm at. So in a lot of different places in this job. Tom Luganbill says Colorado may have the worst roster in the country. And Prime is big mad.
Okay. What would you expect Prime to be?
No, I don't disagree.
Well, I mean, how else is Prime? How else can Prime respond to that?
No, I don't disagree. I think it's great because again, Deion's going to be Deion. He just is.
But I would like to think that if somebody said that MTSU had the worst roster in the country, that Rick Stockstill would be pissed off. I would like to think that if somebody said Florida International had the worst roster in the country, that Mike McIntyre would be pissed off. I mean, that's got to be the reaction that Tom Luganville expected when he said that. And if he expected anything else, he's delusional.
Yeah, I don't know that he was expecting any kind of reaction. And
well, again, he's delusional.
But he also may not be wrong. Based off of what we know about Colorado, and look, they've not played a game yet. He may be completely off base, but
he may be right.
He may be right. He may be wrong. I don't know.
But
I think everybody in the country thought that UMass was the 133rd best team out of 133 FBS teams, and they went out and won a ball game.
No, they're the 132nd.
They're at least 132. They're at least 132.
But I've not seen the article, so I don't know what Tommy Luganville is basing this on.
It was just it was on the next round has some shows that they've started, and he said it Monday morning on the show.
Okay, did he explain it?
He was.
I mean, I get it.
Context.
Colorado was awful last
Sure,
year.
there's context, but yeah, I mean he just said, look, they don't have any talent up front. They didn't bring anybody in. They said they've got a great quarterback. They've got 2 cornerbacks who are probably going to play on Sundays.
Mm-hmm.
But can they protect Shadir Sanders? I don't know.
No. And it's a fair statement. It's a fair speculation on his part, and it's a fair reaction
from
Coach
Prime.
Sanders.
Absolutely. I don't think there's anybody mad about it. I mean, about Prime.
Other than Dion.
I mean, I don't think anybody's mad at Dion for being mad. I mean, there's no reason for him not to be. He should be.
Exactly.
Furman has new helmets with the diamond F on one side of their chrome domes. On the other side, and I thought I sent Justin a picture. I don't know if I did or not.
That would be unfortunate if you did not. Because
I sent it to Mo, so I guess I can always send it to Justin as well. But these new helmets may be the coolest helmets I think I've ever seen in college athletics. I've never understood the Diamond F, but not for me to understand. I don't know what a paladin is.
I'm not 100% sure what a paladin is.
But the other side of the helmet
is that
says FU.
FU.
Furman University. Let's go. And hashtag FU all the time. So
it's their initials.
Yeah.
Furman University.
I mean, you just call them Bominicious. Just all we're doing. We're calling them Bominicious. So anyway, there's some reaction there.
Founded in 1826 and named after Baptist pastor Richard Furman, Furman University is the oldest private institution of higher learning in South Carolina.
Because Pastor Furman ain't real happy about FU on the helmets, I bet.
I cannot think that Pastor Furman is fired up about this, nor notable alumnus Amy Grant.
Vince Gill's going to write a song. You got to watch out.
That's interesting.
It is, in fact. Let's send that to Amy. Amy, how you feel about this?
Yeah.
Got a question.
Of course, for all we know, Amy might have one sitting up on the hearth or whatever.
Yeah, who knows? Before we get out of here, Matt Stafford can't relate to his teammates, Mo. He's old.
He's
we
old
can
and
relate
he's a quarterback.
Yeah, he
I'm old, but I can relate.
Hello, what is that?
Fellow kids.
Hello, fellow kids.
Hello, fellow kids. Yeah.
This is Matt Stafford walking into the locker room. Apparently, a quote from his wife on her podcast said Matt Stafford tells her that when he gets out of practice and meetings during training camp and they all go to their the locker room, all of the young kids are straight, get on their phones immediately. Nobody looks up from the phones. And basically Stafford says, am I their dad? Do I take their phone? Like, what do I do? And there's, again, the generational gap, but you got to think, it is important to have that. If I'm going to be playing professional football with you, I need to have a bond, a connection with you. And it doesn't appear that they're able to put this bond together because the phones are out. So,
and here's the thing. There's 52 of them. There's one of Matt Stafford. So he's going to have to figure it out.
Yeah. And how to do that is the real question here. How do you figure it out? But it is an interesting dilemma that he finds himself in, being, nearly 40 years old and being a quarterback in this league for so long. They call him sir, and he's like, hold up. I'm no sir. I'm
not a coach.
I'm
a
Matthew.
player. Yeah.
Yeah. Just call me by my name. You don't have to call me darling. Just call me by my name, And so I'm curious how that's going to affect the Rams.
Stafford is 35.
Okay, well, that makes sense.
He's only 10 years older than Stetson Bennett.
Jesus, that's hilarious. So I'm curious how that's going to play out. God, Stafford's fixing to retire, and he's still only 10 years older than Stetson Bennett. That's wild. The Rams coming off that Super Bowl were struggled last year, and I don't know that it's going to be any better based off this.
I don't know that it's going to be any better, and however much better it is, they're still, as is everybody in the NFC West, chasing the 49ers. So yeah. I don't know that this helps that any.
Not at all.
But they did get a Super Bowl championship out of it.
They got a Super Bowl. And really, is that all that matters?
And I think it is. I think that's all they wanted.
In their home stadium. So you'll take that. All right. Let's take a quick 1-minute break here and come back with Top 5 Tuesday on the other side of it. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joints. Back to the Lee Company studio in just a second.
This is Chris Yao with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat.
She's on Thinking Out Loud, presented by Regions, and Out of Pocket with Alyssa Lang. It is, in fact, Alyssa Lang.
I'm a little nervous. I'm going to lower the bar for guests now.
Oh, no.
Apologies in advance. It sounds like
SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey.
Got that radio voice.
I do.
It's a good sound.
Thanks for radio too.
As do we. And then here's the other thing. You guys, you're spot on with the name. Everybody wants to be on Main Street. Everybody wants to be on Main Street. So,
and we reach every Main Street in Middle Tennessee, Coach.
Yeah, that's it. So
Perfect.
when you are on Main Street and you are moving,
you gotta love it.
Like you're moving. I was impressed.
I'm glad someone. Thanks again to M.A. VOEPEL and Chip Walters for joining us on today's show. Always good to visit with old friends, and that's what we do here on every show. Looking forward to more old friends later this week, Mo, but right now we're going to talk about sports documentaries. Again, BS High on Bishop, documentary on Bishop Sycamore came out this weekend. It was really interesting. Swamp People or Swamp Kings?
Swamp Kings.
Swamp Kings came out.
I think there is a Swamp People, but it's a
TV show. I think that, isn't that one of the shows that Greg Sankey said he watches? That and Ice Road Truckers. So
I bet he watches Swamp Kings too.
Yeah. And then Johnny Football released recently on the Untold series. So plenty of sports documentaries getting watched right now. So we're going to draft our top 5 sports documentaries. So let's
do it.
Take a little time and do so. Thanks to Mid-South 5 Fitness. Our Top 5 Tuesdays brought to you by Mid-South 5 Fitness. Dallas Steel at Steel Athletes, STEEL Athletes, and SteelAthletes.com. Let's go with Google random number generator. We start with Justin Kulik, and you'll be number 3. Mo, you're number 1, and I'll be number 2.
I'm going with You Don't Know Bo.
It's a good one. You Don't Know Bo is number 1 off the board. Number 2, The Last Dance. That was
took mine.
Yeah, 491 minutes of Chicago Bulls, baby. JK?
I'm going to go with Bad Boys 30 for 30 of the Detroit Pistons.
Pistons, that's a good one.
That is a good one. I'm going to go with Kenny Chesney's The Color Orange.
My number 2.
That's not actually Kenny Chesney's, by the way.
Yeah.
It's Condredge Holloway.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I knew what you were.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify for anybody who thought I didn't know what I was talking about.
I'm going to go with Ken Burns Baseball.
Excellent choice.
4 Days in October. 30 for 30 about the Red Sox beating the Yankees.
Solid. I'm going to go with, at number 3, the Michael Vick 2-part documentary that ESPN did.
I'm sorry. That's it. It was probably the most entertaining, and I caught it during COVID.
That's when I watched it.
So it was just enthralling because I could sit there and watch it and not have to. I was worried about nothing.
Yeah.
So. Okay, this is not the feature film, but Hoop Dreams, talking about William Gates and Arthur Agee. Absolutely fantastic.
Yep. Former UT coach Kevin O'Neill was in that.
Oh, wow. Yeah, he was. That's amazing. Justin?
I'm going to go with, in 2015, Kobe Bryant had a documentary about him. It's called Muse, Kobe Bryant's Muse. Love that one.
I am going to go at number 4 with the 30 for 30 on Marcus Dupree, The Best It Never Was.
Okay. Oh, let's see here. There's so many good ones. You know what? I'm going to go Last Chance U Season 1. Because it was such a unique thing. Nobody had ever seen anything like that. And it was so, Buddy was just phenomenal. Brittany Wagner was encapsulating. I mean, just a phenomenal documentary. JK?
I'm going to go with Full Swing, that golf documentary show on Netflix.
Number 5?
Number 5. This is a little off the wall, but it's another SEC story, and I feel a connection to it because I was actually in the building at the time. Miracle 3. It's about the 2008 SEC basketball tournament in Georgia Dome when they had the tornado. Yeah.
I'm going to go Book of Manning because, Well, finally, JK.
I'm going to go with the Redeem Team.
The Redeem Team. That was a good one. All right, that's going to do it for Top 5 Tuesday here on thanks to Mid-South 5 Fitness. We'll be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. in the Lee Company studio on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint 220. Don't forget, talking NASCAR, the playoffs are set. Heather Williams joins us and more. We'll see you guys then.